How we going, V8 fans? I'm back doing another video for you guys. Just a short episode. Well, not short. I don't know how long this video will take because I have a lot to talk about. The Newcastle 500 event. Yes, it is one of the most talked about topics up here in Newcastle. I'm only half an hour out from the CBD, so I'm pretty close, and I'm also keeping up to date with pretty much everything that is going on. So I just want to let you guys in on a little something that happened during the day and whatnot, and also keep you up to date on also what has been said and some news as well, and we'll touch topics on the race in a second, but I'm going to leave a link in the description down there. Today we discovered that the V8 Supercars head office in Newcastle, not their head office obviously, but for the race their head office will be in a nice historical building. And we also learnt today that that building got vandalised with big NO V8 everywhere. There was just a lot of hate in the town, and to be honest guys, it's been going on for ages. Ever since they have promoted the V8 Supercars event up here in Newcastle, it has been going on ever since the day they said that they'll have a race up here. And for diehard fans up here in Newcastle, we're getting sick of it. I'm getting over the fact that people are just not getting on board with it at all. As well as that, I understand everyone's situation and everyone's opinion on the event itself, and we all got to respect that. You know, the only problem that we're having up here is that there's some residents that are going to be living on the track, obviously, and their houses are nearly 100 plus years old. They're old. They're pretty much falling apart. Not falling apart, but they're getting to that stage where we don't know what's going to happen. And with that, with 680 horsepower cars going past their house, we don't know what kind of damage they're going to do to the cars. We don't know what they're going to do to them. It's just insane. There's so many things that is going on, and it's just ugh. So that's one of the topics, is the residents. They're not at all pleased that the event will happen. They want a track in Newcastle. They're against of where it's at, and which I just said, it is pretty much 5 meters from their house. You walk outside, boom, there's fences there, and the track is pretty much right there. So, and they're all, I'm not going against anybody here, but they're pretty much all old folk. They're all retirees, which is understandable. Some of them are getting old, and they just want to live in peace now in their homes, and we got to understand that as well, and we got to respect that decision. But it's just one street that's complaining, and I'm not going to give away the name of the street because I don't want a lot of people viewing this video and going over to the street and just start egging the houses or whatever. But I know you guys won't do that, but it's been a very, very touchy subject up here. A couple of months ago they actually had a demonstration up on out the front of one of their houses, and what they had was they brought in a PA guy, and they had speakers set up towards the houses, so the residents could hear how loud the track would, how loud the event will be when the race starts, and obviously when it's going on. The only problem that I found with that is that they played a constant V8 sound. Alright, now mind you, it's only a 200-meter stretch of road, right? They'll hear the cars go past, and then there'll be silence for say a minute and a half, and then they'll go through again. Minute and a half silence, minute again, and then once I don't know how many laps are going to be in the Newcastle 500. I'm not too sure, but if we're looking around like the 58 mark or something like that, after a few first rounds of pit stops, then it will be a little bit more constant. You'll get the new. You know what I mean? Like, if you guys have obviously been to an event, you know what it's like. At the first 10 or so laps, it's just you get that constant sound, and then after the first pit stops and whatever else, you get the whole delay, or well, not delay, but you get the constant sounds and whatever else. And they're really the residents also are concerned about their houses and the buildings falling and well, not falling but getting damaged because obviously they're 100 years old, so they're on their last legs pretty much. Another thing as well, they've also said that like they're for it, but it's obviously in the wrong place, which I understand. I get that as well. And my honest opinion, when they first came out with the layout, I was not impressed. I was not impressed at all because I'm in Newcastle, not all the time, but I'm in there regularly and enough to know where a track would be decent. They were originally going to put it on Ocean View, and I was a big no against that, because the track, I'm not kidding, would probably be, if I can estimate, right, this is the size, I'm just, roughly guessing, if this is a normal track size, right, where they would go would be about here. Okay, so you're going from here to here. That's a big difference. It's a massive difference. Sorry, I was just looking at the screen then to kind of know where I was. But yeah, it's a massive difference. So there will be no, 2-car wide action. It'd just be all, follow the leader kind of thing. So, and then they changed the layout, and layout that they have now is obviously the layout that you guys are seeing. Is really cool. I like it. It goes through some great views of the ocean, and then obviously it cuts into the residential area itself. As well as that, it is starting to get really annoying as well. I'm getting frustrated to my head. It is beyond a joke, really. And it's not just the old folk that are complaining, it's anti V8 Supercar fans as well. And there's a lot. Half the city is divided at the moment up here. We've got passionate V8 Supercar fans that are going to come from Port Stephens, all the way from Maitland, Curry. Some will come even from Sydney as well. All around. There's a few. It's not a big enough event, obviously, like Bathurst, where you'll get like people from Melbourne and Queensland and whatever else. You might see people from Melbourne and Queensland and maybe even Western Australia. I'm not too sure. I'm not. I can't tell the future, but obviously it's not a big enough event yet. But for that to happen, it's like Jesus. But oh, my nose. Sorry about that, guys. But yeah, it's becoming a joke, and with the anti-V8 Supercar fans, they don't even want it in the city at all. They want it completely wiped out. They don't even want it. Now, for me, I would hate to be a V8 Supercar main person at this current point in time, because you're getting so much hate in a city that doesn't want it there. Another thing as well, just before I keep going with that, we've heard so much about the negativity in the city. Like, there's news reports, there's articles about, we don't want it here and whatever else. I don't think I've heard one positive thing about it yet. Like, they haven't interviewed anybody or said anything good about it. Like, economically, guys, this event is going to be nearly I think they said the other week it was $56.7 million revenue for the city, and it's like, what? Like, why knock that back? Some of the historical buildings they could redo. No, obviously historical buildings are supposed to be historical, so they don't get any what's that word I'm looking for? Like any they don't rebuild them. Obviously, they keep them the way it is because it's historical. Like, how many times have you heard of the Great Wall of China getting rebuilt because that's a 1,000 years old now? You don't. And like even the Egyptians, you go over to the pyramids. Like, how many times do they rebuild them? They don't. So I understand that as well. But with the anti-fans and all that stuff, there has not been one positive thing about it, and that's why I'm sort of letting this out to let you guys know my honest opinion on the event as well. I think it is the best thing that has happened in the town, and for the community. You know, when we heard months ago that Gosford was going to get the event, or even Wyong apparently, or just the Central Coast in general, they were going to get the event, and you know, people up here were like, come on, when's it going to be our turn? You know, like, we've been dying for a V8 Supercar event up here, and we don't have one. They were thinking about running at the Cameron Park racetrack, but that's a go-kart track. You can't race there. It's impossible. And you'd be lapping like 2 minutes, not 2 minutes, freaking like 2 seconds there. So yeah, when we all heard about the Gosford and Central Coast and whatever else, we're like, when's it going to be our turn? And then the day of approval of the track in the Central Coast race, they canned it. And everyone up here was like, yay. Ooh, this could be close. Like, this could be our opportunity. And luckily, a couple of weeks later, Newcastle got the call up, and boom, we have a track. Also, there's been a lot of talk about the layout as well of where it is, and obviously, you guys have heard where it is and whatever else. I think it's great. I love it. I love where they're putting it. I'm actually going in there in a couple of days, and I might even do a track guide for you guys, so you guys can see where the track is and what it's looking at and what you guys will be seeing on TV, or even if you're at the event, what you're going to be seeing there as well. But that's amazing. But my honest opinion about it, guys, this is the best thing that's happened up here. I've been living in Newcastle for nearly 19 years, and you know, I've been dying for a V8 Supercars track as well. I've been to Bathurst, I've been to Oran Park, which, by the way, was one of the best tracks, honestly. Why did they ever get rid of it and put a shitty little town in there, I don't know. But Oran Park, my God, was an absolutely amazing experience. Bathurst as well was amazing. They're the only two I've really been to, guys. And the Sydney 500, obviously, as well. Bathurst is obviously a residential area as well. People live on the circuit. You don't hear people complaining about it. Gold Coast 600, or whatever it is now, that is full of hotels and residents everywhere. We haven't heard a bad word about that. Where else? Where else could we talk about? Adelaide, the Clipsal 500, you know, residentials everywhere. Are there any more street circuits I'm missing out? You know, there's a few, and not one bad word has been said about them ever. Newcastle, it's time to get over yourselves, really. We need this more than the haters do. We really do. It's time to stop being such children about it. And who knows? If you're an anti-V8 fan and you're watching this, you're going to be at the event. There's no doubt about it. You're going to be there because you want to know what it's going to be like. And if one bad thing happens, you're going to be there to bag it so much that it'd be the only thing you're going to talk about for the next 2 years, or 3 years, or 4 years, or 5 years, whatever. You're going to be banging it every single time because of one simple thing. And that's the noise of the cars. You're going to hate it. But in saying that, you're going to be there, so you're going to love it. Trust me, you're going to love it, because I know you will. You're going to be at the circuit, and you're going to be watching the race, and you're going to enjoy yourself. You're going to buy some merchandise. You're going to go home and then put that merchandise on. You're going to enjoy the racing. You're going to love it. So don't be such children about it. It's going to happen no matter what. And the thing is, if I was a V8 Supercar corporate, I would be sitting here going, now, if this city really doesn't want us here, why are we doing it? That is the number one question they should or would be thinking about right now, because if so much hate is being built up, like I said a minute ago, we haven't heard one positive thing about this race. All we know is where it is and when it is. That's it. Not one person has spoken good about the event. And I'm here to do that for you. Get over yourselves. Please. No matter what, it's going to happen. And if it doesn't happen, then you guys are obviously going to be the one to blame. And you'll have 100,000, a million, 10 million people that are going to come to Newcastle. Not millions of people obviously are going to be at Newcastle for the event, but there's going to be so many people there. And they all know why there's been so much controversy about the race, because of you guys. And if you guys are the ones that get this canned, don't come crying us, please. Do not come crying us, because this is beyond a joke. I am red hot about it. That's why I'm so behind the event going along, because if it doesn't go along, I don't know what to do. I really don't. And like I said, I'd hate to be someone that's working for V8 Supercars and be like, well, if there's going to be this much hate for the city that we're going to be racing in, then why bother even showing up? That's what they must be thinking, and I don't blame them. You know, like, if they don't want an event here, why make it happen? I wouldn't want to cop abuse from people that don't like me because they don't want to see something in their city. You know, that's like, you know, I'm a big Canterbury Bulldogs fan, and I live in Newcastle. You know, Canterbury Bulldogs is in Sydney. I'm in Newcastle. You know, I can walk down the street with my jersey and no one complain about it. Where if you have 100,000 people at the event and there's one street that's got like 100 people in it that are anti-V8 Supercar fans, things aren't going to be pretty, trust me. But guys, I'm going to leave it there because I am just about ready to throw my phone. But I hope you enjoyed the video. I'm going to leave a link in the description to show you the photos and some of the stuff as well that happened today with all the big no V8 stuff. That historical building that got vandalised, and apologies for that little rant, guys, but it had to be said. Someone had to say it, and I'm the only one that I know that does this for you guys, for the V8 Supercar community. So guys, leave a like down for the video. Please comment your opinion. I would love to hear you guys' feedback on this as well, because it would be really, really cool to hear it, and it would be absolutely incredible to hear you guys and honestly what your opinion is on it, because yeah, if you're red hot like what I am, I would love to hear you scream and shout and whatever about it. If you're anti V8 Supercar fan, boom, comment down please, because I would love to hear your opinion on it too. But guys, that's it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. Like the video, comment down on anything, on your opinion on it. Subscribe if you're new. Tasmania's on this weekend. I can't wait. I was actually going to go down and go to it, but I had other plans as well. So do all that stuff, guys. Have a good week and watch the Tasmanian race this weekend. My dark horse would be... I actually don't know. I reckon Rick Kelly will go really well this weekend. He'll have a lot of good pace. As well as that, I reckon it would be... I'm very early with this now. I reckon 3 drivers will have a chance for the title this year, and that will be Scott McLaughlin, Fabian Coulthard, and Chaz Mostert. Right? If Red Bull had a chance for the title this year, they would have dominated Melbourne. As well as that, Holden doesn't really have a good track record at the Melbourne Grand Prix, well, the Australian Grand Prix. Sorry if I offended any F1 fans. But yeah, that's pretty much it. So Chaz Mostert, Scott McLaughlin, Fabian Coulthard will obviously be in the running this year for the title, and it's going to be very interesting. 3 Fords. My man Lee Holsworth, I don't know. It has been a very, very unlucky year, and it's been a very, very unlucky team. But guys, I'm going to leave it there. I keep ranting on about stuff, but like I said, leave a like down, comment on your opinion about the Newcastle 500. Subscribe if you're new, and I shall see you all after the Tasmanian event. Peace.